So this will be just a little short one, won't it, Arlene?
I don't even know what I'm here to do, by the way, guys.
That's a good
Somebody didn't
start.
tell me I was to come on to do anything.
You'll wing it, don't worry. I have them all afraid of you, Arlene.
Why? What's going on?
I know, I'm only kidding. So yeah, so tell if you can just tell everybody first, I suppose who you are, what you do at the moment. What are you doing? Go on, let me know.
Joanne, where do I
I
start?
I know anyway, but tell everybody else.
Yeah. Um, I'm Arlene, and I have been a part of Joanne's setup from the start. Haven't I, Joanne?
Day one.
Day one.
Yeah.
Um, we go back a long way. Joanne and me worked together prior to this, and then I
Too
came
many
on board
years.
with Cal. Will not say how long, Joanne.
No.
So my background sports therapy, and I developed and left the establishment I was working in over 8 years ago and went out on my own. And I have been, I was laughing at Sandra there. I caught his conversation about the beds. I have been on small beds, light beds, heavy beds, pathetic beds. I've been on everything, but I'm now in a clinic.
That's like if somebody came into this that sounds
There's
wrong.
every single what?
She's been
I'm
on
in a
all the beds.
exactly. My bed that I use in clinic is actually a hydraulic bed, and I get a lot of benefit out of it because I can adjust as and when I need, which is fantastic. The only downside is then when I'm out, and I do a lot of pitch side work. When I'm pitch side, I'm back onto my portable bed and stuck on one set height to fit everyone, which doesn't really work, but we get there. Clinic wise, I'm in clinic. And I'm expanding in respect of what all I'm doing. I have my whole sports therapy things. I do my dry needling. I have the kinetic chain release, like cold therapy. And I am now branching down, which Joanne, I don't think you know this yet. Oh, you do know, because I said it through to you. I'm
Yeah.
branching down the wellness coaching route as well. So just to give my hands a bit of a rest so that I'm not going to be doing a lot of hands-on work, that I'm going to be splitting it between coaching, wellness coaching, Pilates, and treatments. So
Mhm.
that's where I'm heading at the minute.
Well, I suppose I brought you on here today to maybe tell everybody, why would you continue on and do the level 4 qualification? So I suppose a little bit, I know I have kind of mentioned to a lot of people that we're doing level 3, that it's you, Arlene, that looks after the students in level 4. I leave it in your trusted hands.
Sandra, now don't you let me down. You could say something to the different here. No, level 4, Sandra will tell you because he's been through level 3, level 4, and level 5. If you want to go somewhere with your business, with what you want to do, who you want to work with, you need to have at least level 4. Level 4 gives you the ability to have some testing for injuries and how to treat injuries with specific techniques. You have your advanced techniques. It gives you that edge over anybody else who's doing level 3. It means you can then do additional qualifications such as taping, dry needling, because you have a better foundation. You look at more advanced techniques. Yes, there's a step up with regards to the written work, but that is all to help you with knowledge so that you have it to be fit to put it into practice. And sometimes you'll hear people saying about, oh, I don't understand that. And I would get that a lot when I'm teaching for the level 4s. I don't understand that. But when we explain it in the layman's terms of what you're working at in industry, so if you're working with sports people, we're fit to explain it in layman's terms, and then it makes more sense rather than looking at it from a medical or holistic aspect. I try to put it into layman's and into sport specific things for you to kind of understand a bit better and to fit then to use it in industry. So I'm giving you, if you want to say, live examples to be fit to transfer into industry. Um,
And I suppose
there is.
I feel that students that come on to level 4 and do end up working with you, Arlene, like you are just a wealth of knowledge in relation to working with athletes as such. Stop rolling your eyes.
I'm rolling my eyes, man, because I don't believe I am a wealth of knowledge. But anyway, keep going.
It's not good at taking compliments either, by the way. But tell us some of the athletes or some of the teams and stuff that you have worked with in the last number of long. Well, I know it's more than 7 years. I know you have the clinic that long, but it was before that too.
Well, at the minute, I am back out with Fermanagh under-20 squad, and I've probably been there for about 7-8 years. I started with the minor squad for both the football and the hurling, and then I had to, because I wasn't fit to do everything, I had to split between one. And the footballers was actually easier to work with, so that's why I kind of stayed on that side. So I'm with the under-20 squad again. I have been with quite a few football teams, like Gaelic teams, over the last number of years, local teams here in Fermanagh. And I have worked with various sports teams. Like, as my daughter said to me, Mum, at the weekend, you were with 4 different teams. I was with the county minor under-17s. I was with the county to under-20s, and I was with 2 female sports teams over the weekend, just because there was no cover and I was contacted to go and work with them. But I would say, from my experience, the most I've ever got is being drafted in to work with the Argentine and New Zealand rugby squads. Unbelievable experience. And that was all down to having sports massage and having the level 5 qualification that got me in there. It's a different world when you see a team to that standard, world-class standards, who are in Ireland in a different climate and are just taking it all in their stride. And the Irish people are providing them the support they need, because they obviously don't have traveling sports massage therapists or physios or whatever. They have one team physio and one doctor that travels with them, but then they have these other resources. Unbelievable experience. You can go places if you want to with this. And Sandra, I know, I would say you've rocketed from UK to Ireland. Would that be right?
Yeah, I actually started in the Netherlands with Sport Fitness Academy. But I have to say, you're totally right, Arlene, with everything you're saying there, because level 3, it's an amazing qualification. But if you want to set yourself aside from the rest of the realm of massage therapy, most people stop in your area probably as well after level 3 thinking, well, I can do it all. But when you go to level 4, at least it's such an enormous in-depth knowledge that you get, following Arlene and being taught by her. And yes, you have to study for it, but, where other therapists are not able to treat the client anymore, then generally give them a rub out, you'll be the one, because you have learned how to do clinical reasoning, and you've learned how to do your testing, and you've learned how to look at clients and to study more about gait and posture and things like that. So in just a blink of an eye, you can just see, well, hip flexors are not okay, the feet, the arches are dropping, things like that. And you learn that at level 4. I would say it's an amazing qualification to add to your level 3. And if you're in the study mode, don't stop here, really go further and really go to level 4, because it's an amazing qualification.
And in relation to the level 4, people do, when they talk to me, are worried about the assignment work and the assessment work. What would you say about that? Obviously, like, we've had a lot of people that don't come from an academic background as such, or
yeah.
What would you say about that?
First thing I like that I always kind of say to anyone is, I'm here to help. And at the end of the day, if it's a case of me having to say, right, okay, I'm going to use Sandra's name here as an example. Sandra, right, I'm not happy with this. I need to do a one-to-one call with you to explain it, to go through it. I'll take the time and I'll go through what you need to do. I'll literally step by step guide you to what you have to do to get to the qualification standards. And I always look at it from the point of view of, I think anyone that comes through the Sports Fitness Academy is actually extremely lucky, because Joanne and me have both worked for VTCT. We know exactly what standard they want from their qualifications. So we're pushing you to the standard they want, because we know that that's right. We know, right, that's going to be accepted. And I might be a bit of a stickler for certain things, but it's because I know that's what VTCT is looking for. I will guide you. I will help you.
To explain the backstory there. So an external quality assurer is a person that works for the awarding body, and they go into centres and will check the standards of that centre. So myself and Arlene were both at one point the Irish EQAs, or external quality assurers. So yeah, what is the time commitment to the level 4 study period? So yeah, Linda, I suppose that is very broad. If you have somebody like Eamon, he'll have it done in like 2 months. No,
it really depends. No, it really depends. Like, that's very broad one. It is, because it depends on your life, what's going on in your life at that time. And yes, we try to leave it that it's flexible, that you can jump in and out of it. But realistically, as Sandra said, if you keep the foot down now that you're in education mode, it's going to be easier. And if it's done inside 2 months, fair play to you, because there's some of them assignments and I would not have them done inside 2 months. But yes,
I was joking, really.
If I can add to that, because I did level 4 and level 5 with Arlene together, and from the moment on, she always emphasized to work within your network. So get a buddy, you know. So we had another student in the group, that's Jenny. I did level 4 and level 5 with her. I'm still in touch with her, let's say bi-weekly. Actually, she left a voice note on my phone today. I have a certain question about, I need your expertise. Can we just chat about a certain client to think about what we can do there? But if you have a buddy, so we were working together, and well, Arlene knows this. At some points, Jenny was ahead of me, and at some points, I was ahead of Jenny. But we kept each other in balance, and we're talking and saying, you know, what do you think of this assignment? Should we ask Arlene, or can we find out ourselves? And whenever we needed Arlene, it was always just like she said herself. She was always available, you know, not on the spot maybe, because she has her job as well. But we could just make an appointment.
She's not available all the time.
No, just to make it clear, like, I want to talk to Arlene now.
Yeah.
No, but it really
Wednesday,
worked.
Arlene, Wednesdays.
Yeah. No, well, from what Sandra said, the buddy system is good. I tend to set up a WhatsApp group for the whole class, and it means that if you have a question, you can throw it in there. 9 times out of 10, last group was fantastic, because 9 times out of 10, there's always somebody else beats me to it. But I can reassure the person who's asked the question that the information they've got, whether it be from Sandra or Joanne, whatever, that's right. So you're guiding and helping each other through it. It's definitely very useful when you're doing a qualification to have someone to support you. Preferably who's on the course with you, because they know exactly what content you're looking at when you ask the question. And as Sandra says, him and Jenny, and I know for a fact they're still in contact. And every now and again, I'll get asked a question as well, which I don't mind. I'm always still on the radar if anyone needs extra help or guidance down the line. It's useful to have somebody else to throw an idea off, because I don't know what Sandra thinks of this or what Joanne thinks of this, but sometimes it's easier to ask a buddy than it is to ask the tutor. Yeah. Because you might think, oh God, that tutor must think I'm stupid, I'm always asking questions. It's easier to ask the buddy. And at the end of the day, as I always tell my own family or my own kids, no question's a stupid question.
It's true.
Somebody else is probably thinking.
It's not only about feeling, thinking that you don't know it, but your fellow student is in the same train of thought as you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Patty asked, what level is level 4 in relation to QQI Ireland? So I think in relation to QQI, it is the same as level 6. So it's always
two above, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I know the European framework is 1 level above. Yeah, so you are interested in the level 4, Gavin. Will you
Gavin, you don't have to worry about anatomy. And a lot of the anatomy is already covered in level 3. We're looking at advanced techniques. We're looking at the soft structures and the bony structures of the joints, but you don't have to learn them for an exam. You're learning them to put them into an assignment. So if they're wrong, I can send it back to you and say, right, Gavin, that's not what I'm looking for. You need to go down the route of looking at X, Y, and Z. So it's not a case that you're being examined at the end and have to get 70%, Joanne, is that right? To pass?
Yeah, it's a pass or refer.
It's a guided assignment the whole way through. So if there's something missing, I will be fit to get back to you and say, look, you're missing, and I'll guide you to where you can get the information to get that added in. It's not that you have to remember all the names of them and know them off pat for an exam. You're doing it as an assignment.
Actually, continuous assessment, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assessment. Yeah.
So it's all assignment based, so
it is all assignment based. Yeah. Well, there's obviously the practical as well. You know, there is practical too. And I know, like, at the end of the day, you know, it wouldn't be really worth anything if it wasn't a challenge. Do you know?
Yeah.
And like, imagine how amazing it would feel to have completed a qualification like that. Like, how proud of yourself would you be?
And I'm only seeing part of the screen here, and I'm seeing the age profile
online or one-on-one, and assessments do we then, and sending by email. So the theory part is all like recorded videos, the same as level 3. And then, Arlene, we have made the decision to do a monthly call.
Yeah.
When I mean we, I mean you.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been really trialing and error from COVID as to what way it was working. Sandra will know that whenever he was doing level 4, it was a different format because we were fit to do face-to-face and stuff like that. And we decided, Joanne decided before COVID actually hit that we were going to move online, and then COVID pushed her in the right direction. So it was always a trial and error, and I feel that we need a monthly call just to check in to see how everybody's getting on. A lot of this it's pre-recorded, a lot of the content. There are certain elements that I will teach to you, and that's why we'll do our monthly call as well, is that I'm there to teach them certain elements. And then we have the workshop. We have the workshop, and you are expected to do a wee bit more independent work on level 4. So you'll be maybe referred to or guided to go and get your own information on certain things. Like in that sense, we give you books that you need to look at, online resources and stuff like that. So we give you information, but like what I was saying there, looking at the age profile, I would say there's some of you, this is level 3 is the first time he's been back in education from he's probably left school. And from my perspective, Joanne will be the same, and so will Sandra. Once you're in this industry, you are always learning. You are always doing something because you have to for your continued professional development. And I would easily say every year I am doing something, whether it is a first aid qualification or whether it's a new qualification, I'm doing something every year. And
but
it's easier to keep.
Even all the assessments, the assignments, I said assessment, I mean assignments that you do for level 4, I have them all in my clinic. Now, I'm a little bit, OCD'd with how I keep my information. So I have it all in nice plastic things, in binders. But
nobody would have guessed that, Sander.
But every week, I still get my binder out because I think, I just had someone coming in, when was it? 2 weeks ago with a meniscus tear. And I thought, this is not something that I see every day. I did it in level 4. So I got my level 4 assignments out and saw the tests and saw the information that I've written out. And I was like, yeah, geez, look at me. I could just do the whole meniscus thing. Could just help the client. So it's so valuable to
And
keep
that
it on.
came from the assignments that you did.
Yeah.
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 If you're reading both of these,
I actually use Sandra as my example about one person who always uses their notes. Because I know that Sandra has his notes in that format, and I know that he uses his notes in clinic.
Okay, so there was a
So
second,
it's not.
There was a second question in Ivan's question is that do we have to attend a class? So yes, there is going to be practical workshops in Galway. We are marrying it together with the dry needling qualification. It is the case that if you don't want to do the dry needling and you just want to do the level 4, you can do that.
You can do that.
Or you can do them both together. There is maybe 1 or 2 level 4 already qualified level 4 students that are just coming into the dry needling. So the level 4 workshop, if you want to take a pen and paper, I know some of you do know these dates, is going to be in January. 14th and 15th is for the level 4 and 16th is for the dry needling. Let's hope Arlene's diary is the same now. February 18th is for level 4 and 19th is for dry needling. And then in April 15th is for level 4 and 16th is dry needling. So there's 3 sort of separate 2 days. So the January one is a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The February one is a Sunday and Monday, and the April one is a Monday and a Tuesday. So let me see, as I missed the dates in December when. Well, Ivan, you'll be able to continue on. You can do the both at the same time. I know Ivan hasn't finished his level 3 yet, and he still has to do workshop 2. But it is the case that because you're
because we will have one of our last group level 4s who hasn't finished his practicals because he wasn't available, so he will be slotting in as well. So there is a case that you won't necessarily be available for everything, but we'll try and make it work and get you slotted in. And with regards to, pardon?
Like the workshops are so valuable. Like if you're going to do the course, you know, that's kind of what you're paying for too. So
yeah,
you know, it's important to make yourself available for them.
And I know the level 3 content and the level 3 format was slightly different in respect of that you might have had more live calls. With us on the level 4, I felt that some people were just coming on the calls and they weren't gaining anything from it. So that's why I decided to change it to just once a month. Because if you're working away yourself independently, you will have a question. You will be there to ask questions and to establish or try to establish what or how to answer it, or you know what way or what can happen if I do that test wrong, or what can happen if this, you know, if I don't do it this way or whatever. So you always have the questions. Like some people, what they did was they would have fed the questions into the WhatsApp group, and then I would have discussed more around that on the lives.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
The live, it's valuable if you're struggling to come onto the live.
Yeah, because it might clarify some things.
Yeah.
I suppose we just kind of need to wrap this up. I don't want this to go on for too long either. Does anybody have any questions around level 4? You can put on your mics if you want, or you can just type it in the chat.
Say it's happening in Galway, but is there sorry, any in Donegal?
Not this year.
Right.
It's just that we, like in relation to the groups, Stephen, I didn't even know that was you that was there. You didn't show me your face.
you can stay with Eamon, Stephen.
Okay.
Yeah, you can come down and camp with me, Steve.
He's going to be doing it too, Stephen.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn. That's the problem.
It's all right. It's okay. It's not Sandra that's there. It's me. All right, Sandra. I'll not let them mess.
You'll not let the, yeah, she's definitely much more in control. And I'm not saying Sandra's not in control. I'm saying she does not let anybody get out of line. That's why you need to be afraid. Very afraid.
No, I'm not that bad, honest to goodness.
Always a lovely time. Well,
Not that bad, no.
I have a question for the students, though, for everyone who's finished up with level 3 now or is nearly finished. What would keep you from doing level 4?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Go on, type it in the chat. Everybody can see.
Because if you are in the flow of studying now and getting the knowledge, it would be so cool to just go on, you know? So what would be your big no-no to not to do it?
This is good. There's nothing coming through in the chat here, Joanne.
All the level 4 days are in Galway, so how long is it for? That's what I said, Gavin. It's those 3 days in January. There's 2 days in February and 2 days in April. It's just them days. Just not the level 3 before I start level 4.
Roisin, you just need to do your units, don't you? Your written work.
I have my anatomy and physiology exam to do, yeah, and there's 2 more workbooks I have to do.
Yeah, so you have to do that. When are you going to do your anatomy? In December 14th?
January. Yeah.
Like, it is still possible to do both at the same time. Like, we have had students that actually did them side by side. And, well, Corey was here. He's doing it that way.
It's a question of planning as well.
Can you start level 4 before level 3 is totally finished? Like, once the online level 3 stuff is done. I mean, obviously, ideally, Sander will be on your back to get level 3 stuff in, but, well, yeah.
Can I input there, guys? From my perspective of, you're asking if you've finished level 3 before you do level 4. If you want to be above everybody else in your area, you have to finish your level 3. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is people are going to look and they're going to say, right, Sander, actually, he started that course and never finished it. And they'll not have faith to use you as a therapist, to use you as a person that they will go to treatment for treatments. Whereas if you show that you're committed and that you're fit to get it finished and are willing to move on to do the next thing, you'll find that they'll be at your door because they'll be sitting going, oh, this person's commitment, this person is keen, this person knows and shows what they want to do.
Yeah, I think it would just suit me better to have one finished before I try to jump into another thing. Like, in terms of actually getting it done rather than trying to do them both at the same time.
Yeah,
it's timing and planning as well, just like you said.
Yeah.
You have some sort of planning for your finishing up your level 3 because you've done your practicals when you have your anatomy physiology done in January. So maybe you can have your units done before you do your anatomy.
Yeah, that's definitely on the agenda.
Because they're not the most complicated ones in level 3. It's just a little bit of work, but everything is to be found on the platform in the presentations or in the manuals that are available. If you stick to that, then you can have, if you sit down 2 hours, you have one module done.
Yeah.
And I suppose that to bear in mind, like, we will not be running this level 4 probably until January again, 2025. You know, it's sort of, that was on the cards, Arlene, anyway. We tried to run it twice, like on 2 times, and there's just not enough numbers coming through.
Didn't work.
So again, Stephen, that's kind of another reason why we had it in Galway, because it's a little bit more central for students that are in Cork. Like, if I had a full class of people in Donegal, I would run it in Donegal, but I just don't get a full class.
Believe you me, I'd love her to run it in Donegal. I'm closer to Donegal than I am to Galway. I have to leave a house full and leave a whole rota of what has to be done when I'm away.
Nice to get away too, Arlene.
Here's another reason why Arlene said if you want to stick above the rest in your area, you know, there's so many people who stop after level 3, and not only with Sport Fitness Academy, you know, but the other academies that I know of, the classes are not massive. So if you have your level 4 qualification, geez, you're so much better than the rest.
Yeah.
Well, if there's, I think we'll kind of try and wrap it up there. I don't want this to drag on all night. I just want to say, I know some people have kind of left the meeting now because they're probably have heard what they wanted to hear, but just thank you to everybody that did come in. Thank you for all the listening, and like, I hope you did get something out of this session. It was a bit longer today in relation to kind of business development. We will be in contact with you guys about that and maybe signing up for something like that to help you with your business as well. And yeah, I think that's kind of it from me. Sandra, do you want to add anything else?
No, I'm great. I thought it was a very informative and pleasant evening.
Pleasant evening. Okay, and you, Arlene, anything else before we finish
The only
up?
thing I would say is if any of you have any questions or any doubts, don't be afraid to ask Joanne for my number or my email address, and you can email me and I can answer any queries if you think of something down the line. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, we'll have a really great night.
Joanne, just
Bedtime.
Joanne, just to add to everyone as well, too, similar to echoing what Arlene